Right now, where are you? I mean, physically, where's your body? You're probably thinking, oh, I'm in my car or I'm on the couch. I'm at the gym. One place, one solid, definite location. Now, here's where quantum mechanics breaks your brain. At the fundamental level, the particles that make up our bodies don't work that way. They can be in multiple places at the same time. Not we don't know where they are, actually, genuinely, physically in multiple states simultaneously. Welcome back to Quantum Awareness. I'm QP. And in the last episode, we talked about panpsychism, this crazy idea that consciousness is everywhere. And today, we're diving into how that consciousness might work at the quantum level. And trust me, this is where things get really, really weird. So in episode 1, we established that consciousness might be fundamental to the universe, that it's in everything, everywhere, all at once. But how does this actually function, and what are the mechanisms involved? This is what superposition's all about. So at the end of this episode, you're going to see a connection between quantum physics and a 1,000-year-old Buddhist meditation practice that's going to blow your mind. Let's start with the technical definition first, and then we'll break it all down. Superposition is the quantum mechanical property of a particle to occupy all of its possible states simultaneously. This property persists until the superposition is measured, observed, or interacted with. So that's quite a lot, so let's make it simple. You've probably heard of Schrödinger's cat. It's the classic example everyone uses, and for good reason. Let's imagine you've got a cat. We'll call him Mr. Whiskers. And you're going to put Mr. Whiskers in a box. And inside the box, there's a radioactive source and a vial of poison. If the radioactive source decays, it releases the poison and, well, Mr. Whiskers doesn't make it. Now, here's the quantum part. Radioactive decay is random. It's either happened or it hasn't happened. It's governed by quantum mechanics. So according to quantum theory, until you open the box and look, the cat is both alive and dead at the same time. Not we don't know which one. Both simultaneously. The cat exists in superposition. Now I know this sounds really absurd. And it is kind of funny when you think about poor Mr. Whiskers, stuck in this impossible bardo. But here's why this matters, and it begs some huge questions. So, question 1, what role does the observer play, and not just in science, but in perception in general? Number 2, what roles do subject, object, and action, the 3 parts of observation, really play in our awareness, especially in meditation? And 3, what are Buddhists actually trying to observe in meditation, and how is this all connected? Hold those questions, we're coming back to them. From a Buddhist point of view, and this is where my ears really perk up, everything in the universe is constantly in superposition until mind perceives it. Until consciousness collapses the wavefront and all those possibilities condense into one. Think about that for a second. All possibilities exist in every situation you experience. Every single one. The job you might take, the person you might date, the words you might say, they're all existing simultaneously in a state of quantum possibility until you, through your awareness, through your consciousness, collapse them into one reality. Now, we can say that all possibilities exist within mind, and mind being not a thing, being empty in the Buddhist sense, it's beyond our normal observation. But here's the thing. It's not beyond meditation. When subject, object, and action come together in meditation, we witness the inseparability of ourselves and others. We practice this in meditation, and then we try to bring it into our daily lives. And this is sort of what people mean when they talk about being in the moment, or the here and now, or mindfulness. We tend to throw these phrases around constantly, almost flippantly, while completely missing their deeper meaning. Being in the moment means being in superposition. It means holding all possibilities at once before collapsing them through action or observation. Now, here's where things get really interesting. There's this Sanskrit word, Mahamudra, and it's a state reached through meditation. And I really think, this word might have been describing superposition all along. Now, probably anyone who's done yoga or meditation is going to know exactly what I mean, but you can break Mahamudra down into two parts. Maha means super or great, and mudra means position, hand position or seal. Superposition, Mahamudra. I mean, come on, that can't be a coincidence, right? Now, full disclosure, I'm not a Sanskrit expert. My understanding is colored by my work with Tibetan Buddhism and some really enlightening conversations with some Indian friends and a professional Tibetan translator. But if there are any Sanskrit scholars listening, I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this. But think about it. Mahamudra has been the subject of beautiful cryptic songs and poems in Tibet since around the year 1000. For 1,000 years, Buddhists have been writing about this state. The realization of Mahamudra is enlightenment. Our goal in Buddhism is to discover our true potential. And that true potential? That's enlightenment. That's Mahamudra. That's superposition. So what does this really mean for you, for your meditation practice, for your daily life? It means that in every moment, you're not locked into one fixed reality. All possibilities exist simultaneously until you, through your awareness, through your consciousness, collapse them into one experience. That difficult decision you're facing? Both paths exist right now. Both futures are real until you choose. The person you're worried about, they're simultaneously okay and not okay until you connect with them and observe their actual state. Your meditation practice. Now here's the really beautiful paradox. You're already enlightened, and you're not enlightened at the same time. You exist in superposition between confusion and clarity, between suffering and freedom, between ignorance and wisdom. The Buddhist practice is learning to hold that paradox, to sit with the both and instead of focusing on the either or. In meditation, we practice being in the space before the collapse, the space where all possibilities exist, the space of pure potential. And this is why meditation can feel so expansive. You're literally existing in superposition, aware of the thoughts and emotions and the sensations, but not reifying or collapsing them into solid or fixed things. You're the observer watching the quantum dance. Now, remember in episode 1, we talked about the observer effect in the double slit experiment, how particles behave differently when we observe them? This is the same thing. Your consciousness, your awareness is actively participating in the collapse of the wave function. You're not a passive observer in reality. You're an active participant in creating it. Every moment of awareness is a moment of creation. You're constantly collapsing infinite possibilities into one reality. How's that for a responsibility? Here's what I find so beautiful about all of this. The quantum world is saying things can be multiple ways at once. And the Buddhist world has been saying, yeah, we've been practicing with that for like 1,000 years. Two completely different languages describing exactly the same truth. The Schrödinger's cat paradox isn't a problem to be solved. It's reality being described accurately. Mr. Whiskers really is both alive and dead until we look. And that's not weird. That's just how consciousness works at the quantum level. And we, through meditation, through mindfulness, through awareness, we can learn to hold that superposition. We can learn to exist in the space before the collapse. We can learn to be enlightened and not enlightened at the same time. To be in suffering and to be beyond suffering simultaneously. To be the wave and the particle. Both and. Now you might be thinking, okay, this is cool philosophy, but what do I do with it? So here's what you do. Next time you're faced with a difficult decision, pause. Recognize that both possibilities exist right now. You haven't collapsed the wave yet. You're in superposition. Feel what that's like, to hold both futures at once, to be in the space of pure potential before you choose. That pause, that recognition, That's the practice. And that's Mahamudra showing up in your daily life. You're not trying to figure out which possibility is real. Well, they're both real. You're just choosing which one to collapse into manifest reality. So there it is. Superposition. The quantum world saying things can be multiple ways at once, and the Buddhist world saying, well, that's exactly what we practice. Mahamudra. Superposition. The state where all possibilities exist. The state we're always in before we observe, before we collapse, before we choose. The cat is both alive and dead. You're both alive and confused. And the particle is both here and over there. And maybe, just maybe, learning to hold that paradox in mind is the whole point. Do you agree or disagree? Do you have something interesting to add? Well, I'd really love to hear from you. Next episode, we'll be taking this even further. We're going to explore wave-particle duality and non-dual Buddhism. Because if you thought that superposition was mind-bending, wait until we talk about how light is both a wave and a particle at the same time, and what that has to do with enlightenment. Until then, stay in superposition, hold the paradox, and remember, you're already enlightened. You just haven't observed it yet. When you have some spare time, visit quantumawareness.net for full transcripts, show notes, and related articles exploring where quantum physics, Buddhism, and neuroscience converge. Thanks for listening to Quantum Awareness. I'm QP, and I'll catch you next time.